Hello, anybody and everybody that's watching. Welcome to my first YouTube video. I am so excited, but I'm really nervous, so please bear with me. So I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite eyeshadow palettes. These are the eyeshadow palettes that if I had to narrow it down, or if I was decluttering and I had to give some away, these would be the ones that I would keep and I wouldn't give away at all. The first one I'm going to be talking about, surprise, this is the Morphe, let's show you the back, the Morphe times Jaclyn Hill palette. Sorry, it's a little dirty. This comes with 35 colors and is a collaboration with Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. This is what it looks like. Mine's a little scratched up, some of the shades, but that's okay. It's okay. But it has 35 colors in it, and it's one of my favorites personally because it has such a big range of colors. Like, you have your blues and your teals and like a dash of purple, browns and your blacks, and then you have your warm tones kind of all along here. And it's just like a perfect on-the-go palette. Like, if you just want to carry one palette but you want a little bit of everything, your cool tones, your warm tones, I feel like this is the #1 palette. And it's kind of, I'm wearing it on my eyes today, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's what I use in my crease, and I feel like it looks amazing on all skin tones. It's a very inclusive palette. This one kind of gives me some trouble. I don't know if that's just me. I think this one is called Twerk. This one requires so much buildup for me, but it's not that really big of a deal. When I do build it up and I use my finger, it's really, really nice. So this is one of my favorites. And they all blend out beautifully. And it's a really good palette, and I really, really like it. So that's one. Second palette is the, let me show you the cover, the Alamar Cosmetics palette. This is what it looks like. Like a glimpse. This one is Cocoa Taxi. I didn't swatch it all that great, but it looks so amazing on the eyes. This shade right here, and this shade is Tropical, and then this one is El Malecon, and this one right here is La Costa. So I personally like using my finger to apply my shimmer shadows because I get more color payoff and I get more pigment. So, but you use it with the brush and it's still just as stunning. And the mattes are just, don't let the swatches fool you. The mattes are very, very, very pigmented, and they look beautiful on the eyes. I haven't really seen this on a lot of skin tones, so I can't vouch for that, but I think it looks amazing on my skin tone. And I can only imagine, like, especially these two shades right here on deeper skin tones, I feel like you don't see a palette like this really that much on the market. Like, I see this palette and I just think it's so different. I feel like you don't see this that often. So, and the packaging is very nice on the inside, and it's cruelty free, which is also a big plus. So yes, I love this eyeshadow palette. I love the way it looks on my eyes. I love the matte looker with the shimmer look. I really like using this eyeshadow palette. So that's #2. The third palette that I'm going to talk about, and this brand, any of their palettes will do, but this is probably my favorite. This is the Juvia's Place Magic palette. First of all, I love the packaging. These two women right here, and then like the peach, I love the packaging so much. And then you open inside, and these are what the shades look like. I'll just for you on my hand. Do you see this? Do you see this? Like, and I'm terrible at swatching. I'm just doing it so you guys can see, but I didn't even press down all that hard, and it's the pigment. It's there. Go up closer so you guys can see it. It's so nice. I really, really like it. when you swatch eyeshadows and then you put them on the eye, you're not getting the same color that you get like in the pan on your eyes. This is completely different. I actually have, I don't know if you can see it, but I have the purple shade on my eyes right now, this shade right here, this purple shade, and then this in my crease as well. I love the way it turned out. I love the way it looks on my eyes. I say this palette is worth your money. It's $35. You get, sorry, 4, 8, you get 16 shades, okay? It's just stunning. This dark blue shade, I know like you think like it doesn't have a, you know, dark black or dark brown, but this dark blue shade is very nice and it doesn't show up as blue on the eye. The pans are pretty big for the price, so I really think it's worth your money. It's a really good palette. This gold shade all over the lid, beautiful. And that's that palette. The next palette I'm going to talk about, I'm like searching and seeing which one I should do next, is this palette from ColourPop. This is in collaboration with Shayla, Makeup by Shayla on YouTube, and it's called the Perception palette. It has 16 shades as well. This is what it looks like. Let's see, I'm gonna swatch a couple of the shades so you guys can see as well. That's kind of what you get. Like I said, my swatches are weak, but can you guys see those shimmers? The shimmers are beautiful, and the shadows feel very, very creamy. That's another thing that I didn't mention in the other palettes, the other 3 palettes. The shadows are very creamy as well. I think it's very versatile for kind of like the size of it. You know, you have cool tones and your purples, and then you have your warm tones, and then you think this palette is stunning. I think the packaging is amazing, and I think this retails for $16. I'm not sure. The colors are just very versatile, and the formula is really great. It blends out beautifully on the eyes. Like you can create multiple looks with this. So, and this is really good for traveling, and it has a mirror as well, as you can see. As soon as I found out it was like coming out, I bought it the day of, so I really like this a lot. Next on the list, we have an Anastasia palette. This is the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. The packaging is soft touch as usual, just like the Modern Renaissance and the Soap Culture palette. Love the tone of it, the color on the outside, and then this is what the inside looks like. So some swatches right there. You can't really see this one because it's more of a transition shade. It's not gonna really show up on my skin tone all that great, but this is a shimmer, rose pink, sultry, bronze, and sienna. All our palettes retail for $42, so I know for a fact this is $42. I think if you're just starting out in makeup and you like neutral palettes like this, start off with a basic but beautiful palette, if that makes sense. I would really go for this. It's buttery, it blends out amazing, the shimmers are amazing. This makes an awesome brow bone highlight, by the way. This is personally my favorite because I feel like this is just a great go-to palette. When I don't know what to put on my eyes or really what to do with my eyes, I go to this, and I love putting sienna all over my lid. Maybe just throwing in burnt orange as a transition shade, and then taking a buffer brush or a fluffy blending brush and putting sienna all over my lid. Putting on some lashes or some mascara and just call it a day. And I also love this mulberry shade all over the lid as well. And this also works very good on the outer V as well. This is the perfect, I don't know what to do, but I gotta do something palette. And this is it. It also comes with a black and a dark brown, which is very perfect for the outer V. And also if you, because I know a lot of people like to use shadow as liner, I personally like doing that as well. Really like this just because it's the perfect, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just gonna use this palette. And the colors are very pretty. I feel like you're getting, and I'm not sure how many ounces are in the pan. Oh, 0.2 ounces each, which is kind of small, but there's a lot of power and a lot of pigment in them also. I really like it. Next palette, we're gonna talk about the Modern Renaissance really quick. I'm gonna take 2 seconds to talk about this and keep it pushing, because I know you guys have heard about this palette multiple times. If you are a regular beauty YouTube watcher, you've heard about this palette. It's everybody's cult favorite. It's in probably almost everybody's collection, and if it's not, people are probably thinking about putting it in their collection. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and this palette, the shades are amazing. I feel like this wasn't out, and then Anastasia did it, and now everybody else is doing it. This is the OG pops of pink and like a little bit of red, and like you have your neutral on the side and like this bright orange right here. It is a beautiful palette, and it's worth your money. I mean, putting the mattes all over your eyes looks good. Putting the shimmers all over your eyes looks amazing, and I really personally love it. I don't use it as much as I used to be honest, because there's new palettes out there, but when I do use it, I'm always like, damn, I have to use this so much more often, because I just always forget how good it is. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more palettes to talk about. The next palette, so I am like back and forth with this brand. Reason being, this brand has a lot of controversy. So I don't buy, I think I have 2 things from her brand, because like one moment I'll hear about her being inclusive, and then the next moment I'll hear about her not being inclusive. I'm just on the fence a little bit about it. So I have 2 things from her, and her name is Huda Beauty, and this is the Desert Dust palette. This is probably the most expensive palette that I own. So this is the packaging, which is very beautiful. And then you open it, and a sleeve comes out, and it has like the same front as the palette, except it doesn't have her jewelry on top, and it doesn't say Huda Beauty. But the sleeve is also very stunning. And then this is what the palette looks like. This palette is a very pricey palette. It retails for $68, but so I was really on the fence about it, like really on the fence about buying this palette. I bought it, and I honestly don't regret buying it. When I went to Orlando, the 2 palettes I took were this one and the Jaclyn Hill one, and that's all I needed. This palette, you have your brow bone highlights, and then you have your shimmers, and then you have your satin finishes, and then you have your mattes, and then you even have a glitter. Like this is a glitter right here. I would recommend using this with glitter glue, because if you try and just use it dry like that, it's not gonna stay as good. So you get a palette with a variety of formulas, and there is just something different about this palette. This Twilight shade right here, oh my goodness, you see this? The camera's not doing it justice right now, but that right there, I had this all over my lid in a picture, and that day I got so many compliments on my makeup. This was all over my lid. I used a couple shades, and then I just had Twilight all over my lid. So $68, that's the only thing. $68 is a lot, but I think it's a beautiful palette. You can carry it with you anywhere. Look at the mirror. You get a range of formulas. So honestly, with this palette, it's just your preference. Like if you want to treat yourself, you know, you got a little bit extra money in the bank, you didn't have to pay the phone bill this month, whatever. And you've seen this palette and you've been dying, like me, dying to have it in your collection. I say get it. It doesn't take long to do a look. I really like this. Next up, we have another Morphe palette. Please don't kill me. I already know everybody has issues with Morphe, but personally, I like Morphe. I like their products. I love how they have great brushes for cheap. They have great palettes for an affordable price. I like their products. I'm sorry. This is the Morphe 35R. This is what it looks like. It's just a really good palette, guys. It's very big. That's the only, I think, issue is it's just pretty big, so. But look at the shades, guys. This is your perfect brown, red toned palette with, like, first of all, it's all your shimmers are on this side, and then here's all your mattes. So that's a really good, that's a plus. You know, all your shimmers are in one place and then all your mattes are in another place. But you have the perfect shade of reddish brown tone shadows in here. This is just another, I don't know what to do, I don't know what palette to use. I'm going for this palette. The shades in here blend beautifully. I would love to do a look with all these palettes to just kind of prove my point, because it's so easy to say it, but it's another thing when you actually use it on your eyes. The shades in here blend beautifully. They blend together. No patchiness, nothing. The shimmers in here are stunning. I think these are my favorite two shades right here. This brown shade and this brown shade. I love it. The only real thing is that there's not really a brow bone shade and there's not a black. But this brown shade right here is dark enough, and then you could use this on the brow bone. But other than that, it's a great palette. I think it is worth your money. And if you're kind of just unlike me, like I buy palettes on the daily, but if you just want a one and done palette, I recommend this being a one and done eyeshadow palette because it is beautiful. Next palette that I'm going to talk about is the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. I bought this palette because I have an addiction. That's why I buy all my palettes. I have an addiction. Let's just get that out of the way. But I really bought this palette because look on the inside. Do you see the color? You have this bright neon green, this pink shade, and then this orange shade right here, and this other beautiful hot pink shade. Just as stunning as it looks in the palette. It's just as stunning on the eyes. I actually did a look on this. I was gonna put it up, but I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about it because it wasn't my best video. But this is beautiful on the inner corners, and as a brow bone highlight, I love this. I could bathe in this shade right here. These are beautiful. This is a beautiful shade in the crease, also a beautiful shade in the crease, and the shimmers all over the lid are amazing. This blue shade and this green shade right here, beautiful, beautiful. And I feel like if you want a colorful palette but you don't want like a palette that's too big or anything, just this size, I feel like this really is the palette for you. BH Cosmetics is a very affordable brand for very quality makeup and brushes, so it's a very beautiful palette. And the only thing, it doesn't have a black, but this brown is pretty deep, right? The shadows feel buttery, okay? It feels like you're touching butter. They're very smooth, very pigmented. The formula is amazing, and it's quality for the price you're getting. It's very good, very, very good. So you might have to dip into other shades for a transition shade, because this, I would say, is really the only practical transition shade, and that could be a turn off for a lot of people. So you would have to dip into possibly another palette, but other than that, the shades are beautiful, and I think it's the perfect palette if you want to pop of color in your collection. And then last not least, we have e.l.f. Matte for Matte. This is what the front looks like. You open this and this is what the palette looks like, and you have like neutral and then like pop of colors in the palette. I think this is a bomb eyeshadow palette. This one is beautiful. It is the perfect palette for traveling. It's tiny and it's a perfect if you have like an all shimmer palette and you need a couple mattes, this is very good for it. It does have a black, which is a plus, a highlighting color as well, so that's a plus for this palette. I personally like this palette because I never used to be a matte fan. Like when I first started out in makeup, I just had a shimmer all over my lid and called it today. Matte shadows weren't really my thing, and I'm not really the biggest fan of buying like an eyeshadow palette that has just mattes in it or just shimmers. I want eyeshadow palettes that have a mixture of both because I feel like I'm getting more for my money. But I saw Kathleen Lights rave about this palette and I was like, let me go out there, buy it because it's not expensive and it did look beautiful on our eyes. So I wanted to see how it looked on my skin tone because we're obviously two completely opposite skin tones. And I loved it. I love this pink shade in the crease. It's beautiful. And then this shade in the crease or all over the lid is amazing. It blends out beautifully. It is affordable. You could only get it online, but I'm pretty sure you can get it in stores now. It's the perfect travel size. Look at this. Look how tiny this thing is. So yes. Okay, so that was my top 10 eyeshadow palettes. I think personally, for me, I think all of these are worth your money. I feel like the Huda one is kind of just like, it's beautiful, but I feel like it's like a treat yourself. But I feel like everything else is not too expensive. That's the only really expensive one, and the Anastasia palettes and the Magic by Beauties place. Everything else is not too expensive. The ColourPop palettes, the Beige Cosmetics Festival palette, the Morphe palette. For the amount of shades you're getting, it is a good price. So thank you so much for watching this video. Leave below what your favorite eyeshadow palettes are because those are mine. I would love to know. I'm an eyeshadow palette junkie, so I would love to have more in my collection, even though I don't need more. I'm gonna get more eventually, and I would love to know what I should spend my money on and what shouldn't I spend my money on, because no matter how much time you tell me you don't need any more eyeshadow palettes, I'm gonna get more. I am, and I'm probably not gonna toss out the ones that I already have. So thank you again for watching.